Welcome back to the Lancaster Archery Classic. Chuck Cooley alongside Teresa Johnson in the Win-and-Win broadcast booth. We're at the True Ball XL Archery Hall. Teresa, welcome back. I know that you needed just a minute there after watching your husband power through his first match, and then he got into his second match, and man, I could see your heart. It was coming right out of your chest. You needed a minute.
I did need a minute. Chuck, I literally almost felt like I was going to pass out.
It was, it was exciting, though. Butch was shooting so well.
Well, and let me just say that I've seen him compete in Olympic trials. I've seen him compete in national championships. I've watched him compete in World Cups. And I've never been as nervous as I was watching him compete here at the Lancaster Classic on the big stage.
Can you imagine how he felt up there? He did really, really well.
I think I was feeding off his nerves. I think that's actually what was happening. But here we're back in the Youth Open Male Division, and we've got some really talented young competitors coming up. We're watching Michael Hulburt? Michael Hulburt.
Michael Hulburt Jr. and Tyler Heritage.
And these two, and it looks like Tyler may be shooting for Lancaster Archery Joad. I think
he does. Now,
we've got that red shirt there, a very distinctive red shirt. And boy, I'll tell you what, those, not for nothing, Chuck, but those red jerseys are pretty nice. I kind of feel like I want to join the Lancaster Joad team for the jersey.
It's a pretty great program. Tyler came up through the bracket. He beat Rocky Cummins 126-127. And then he beat Dylan Childers 130-124 to put himself in this bracket. And when you look over at Michael.
Great shooting by these young men. Composure under pressure. Let's hear what they have to say.
Well, thank you for coming to the LAS Classic. This is your second year on the stage here?
Yes, it is. Very happy to be here.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's quite an accomplishment. This division is really, really competitive. Arguably one of the most competitive here at the LAS Classic. These are guys under 18, and there's a bunch of you that shoot nearly perfect. It's a tough division, and you made it into the Final Four. So let's look at your setup a little bit. You're shooting one of the new Hoyt bows. You're shooting an Achieve sight from Excel, a Trophy Taker blade rest, Bee Stinger rods, and it looks like you're shooting X-Jammer Carbon Express arrows. What release are you running?
I'm still shooting the HBC from last year. I was shooting the Fulcrum earlier this year, but it wasn't working out for me, so I switched.
Well, that HBC is tried and proven. A lot of perfect scores shot with it. Tyler, we'll get back to you for the next end. All right, looks like we've got close match from Tyler.
We're going to see a little replay action here, and you could see a little bit of a look there on Michael's face as he fires that last arrow, and of course he hits a beautiful 11, so no complaints.
So these guys are coming into the second end of their match here. Now again, this is the Youth Male Open Division. This is young men 11 to 17 years of age, so quite a huge age spread between these guys. It covers a huge group of people. Tyler comes out of the gate here with a 10. Kyler was the number 4 qualifier coming into the day. Michael, the number 3 qualifier coming into the bracket here. With an 11, great response. So he ties the match back up if that stays an 11. He's back in there. Beautiful shot from Tyler there.
Wow, good shooting.
Centers it right down the middle.
You can see as he draws his bow back, he's pretty confident. He's not shooting too much draw weight. He's not what we call overbowed. He pulls that bow back like it's got no weight on it at all, and he executes the shot really smooth.
Solid 10 there.
Now let's talk about what happens, Chuck, when they execute the shot and it looks like that elbow comes flying back. What is really going on there?
Well, that's the release of all the pressure of the bow. So when they come back and they're holding the bow back at full draw, they're holding, depending on the bow and depending on the archer, somewhere between about 13 to 20 pounds, maybe 22 on the high end. So when that bow breaks, when that release breaks, all that pressure goes straight backwards. Great end from these guys. We're down to a 1-point match at the half.
I'm really nervous right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just shaking, and
Well, You can't tell at all. When you when it's down to business and when you're up there shooting, you're staying in the process and giving it a hammer. Let's look at your equipment. You're shooting one of the new Hoyt Prevails with an Achieve sight from Excel. You're shooting a Shrewd scope, blade rest. What blade rest is that?
The Hamsky drop away.
Very good, very good. Shooting Bee Stinger bars and what release?
I just picked up the Fulcrum Flex Thursday, and I'm shooting that. So.
He's
New
a
release
hornet.
change.
We're going to see a couple of those shots here, and you can just see so much composure for such a young archer. If I'm one of these guys in the senior division, or I should say the adult division, I'm probably a little nervous about the talent coming up. Because the reality is these are the next Levi Morgans and Rio Wilds and Jesse Broadwaters. This
They
is the
are.
next generation right here.
This is the next generation. Now, Tyler, you saw the quick look at his veins there. He's a Hornet. Hornet meaning he shoots with George Riles in his program, the Hornets program out of Snellville, Georgia. George spends an incredible amount of time training these kids for high-pressure events. So he's nervous. You saw that little bounce in his foot. There was a camera shot there where his heel was bouncing on the floor just a little bit. But they've worked very, very hard to try to train through these nerves, and I know George does a great job trying to prepare these guys for events just like this, and you can see it in his performance. He comes out of the gate with an 11-11. This is a very, very tight match. These guys are shooting extremely strong shots.
Let's see how he does under pressure here, and you can just see he's really steady. He's really calm.
A little longer hold than he's had here. He's got to hold it together.
And he does.
Powers through that.
Great shot.
Great recovery. Tyler right on the draw. Now, the way that this works here is there's 30 seconds on the clock to get your arrow off. As soon as that arrow is fired, the next clock starts.
Ooh.
So Tyler jumped right on that draw, knowing that Mike had a little bit of a long hold that last time. See how much
Very
faster
quick
his
shot.
timing was there?
So it might have surprised him a little bit.
So a 2-point swing there. Tyler will have a 2-point advantage going in to the last end.
Keep it up. You're smoking it as well. 32. Both of you guys could be competitive in the pros. You look to go there someday?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to want to go to the pros one day. It's one of my goals. My goal is to be the best in the world, but it takes a lot of work,
Yes, it certainly does. How old are you?
I'm 17.
17. And Tyler, are you 17 as well?
16. Just
16. Just turned 16. So you've got at least another year here. That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. And at 17, you a senior in high school, a junior in high school?
I'm just a junior. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. These guys are doing an awesome job in school, working hard at both their archery and their school.
Take a look at that nice tight anchor point.
Big deep breath as he knows he got away with that one.
Yeah.
Still landed the 11. That was that long draw shot. Tyler looking super comfortable there.
And 16 years old. I mean, that's both of these young men. So Mike is 17, Tyler's 16. This is a lot for a 16-year-old kid to be doing, but we've seen kids, as young as, I think yesterday, I feel like we saw maybe even some even younger folks yesterday. So this is it'd be a lot for me up on that stage, Chuck.
Right. We're coming into the last 3 arrows of this match here.
A lot of pressure. Good shot.
Great opening shot from Tyler.
Very decisive.
Whew.
We got a 2-point match here, and really, I'd still say this is anybody's match to win with 2 arrows left to go.
Looks very comfortable there.
Nice shot.
His shot timing is just awesome, and you can see that big arrow twirl coming and pulling the arrow out. He's a little more confident there. Knows he made a good shot.
Both of these young men, really, you get the sense that they came out here to win. They are not playing. I mean, really nice shooting from both of them. They're not letting either one of them get away with anything at this point.
You can see how he draws. That's that George Riles thing. He draws the bow and then just brings the bow to his body. He does not bring his body
Beautiful
to the
shooting
bow.
from Tyler.
And he's rewarded with a 33 on this end.
Let's see how Mike holds himself. We know he can't win the match, but how does he go out?
Oh, a 9.
Oh, so much pressure, but beautiful shooting for both these guys. Congrats to Tyler, who advances, and Mike, of course, retires with a 4th place finish.
You've had a great run. You survived all of those matches. To get here, you come away with a 4th place finish, $250 in the LAS Classic. Great job. Great job. Tough match. Tough match. Some awesome shooting. Congratulations. Tyler, great shooting. Tyler, great shooting. Incredible. 130 in that match. That's going to hold up in the pro ranks. Nice shooting. You look like you're cool as a cucumber up there. You get the job done when you get that bow back.
Yeah, I'm not really as cool as a cucumber. I'm a little nervous right now.
That's all right. You, like I said, once you get that bow back, it's all business. All right, next up.
Great shooting from those 2 young men. You could see the disappointment in Michael when he walked off the stage, but you know, he handled it with grace. And the thing is when you have a guy standing next to you that's dropping 33s on you, it's really hard to get away with that. You know, it's just such a tough competition.
Tyler's got some tough competitors, speaking of which, Chuck, to get through. Now, if Tyler wants to win the top prize in this division, he's got to get through 2 tough competitors in Derek Ballengee, but first, Ethan Merrill.
Right. Ethan Merrill is coming up. We're going to get that stage reset. Make sure you guys stick around and stay with us. We are live at the Lancaster Archery Classic. Chuck Cooley, Teresa Johnson here at the Archery Hall, the Spooky Nook Sports Complex. And we are back live here at the Lancaster Archery Classic. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. I am Chuck Cooley. This is Teresa Johnson. We are in the Win and Win Broadcast Center at the True Ball XL Archery Hall at the Spooky Nook Sports Complex. Thank you very much for tuning in. You're watching the live broadcast brought to you by Hoyt on our YouTube channel from Lancaster Archery. Our live scoring brought to you by Dead Center Archery Products.
And I was just going to say the same thing, Chuck, and you beat me to it. I was going to thank them for their support. We're just super excited to be here and watching some amazing archery competition this morning. I hope that you've all been tuned in right along, but if you haven't, we've just seen some incredible recurve matches. We also saw the Masters Open Pro compound division, and now we're into the Youth Male Open. We are set for some amazing compound action for the next couple of hours while we watch some incredible titles be decided and a lot of prize money on the line.
There is. There's thousands of dollars available for these guys. Now, this is strange from Tyler to see that extra long hold.
Yes.
We just watched Tyler blow through his first match with a 130, and now he's back on the stage
relax a
with
little
another
bit.
33.
Ethan,
Rob
you were a
gonna
member
introduce our
of
next
the
competitor, Ethan Merrill.
2017 Outdoor World Team, and you brought home some medals for USA in that. Shot incredibly well. What medals did you win out there in Rosario?
My team and I, we won the gold for teams, and then I took home silver for individuals, and we also got the got a world record for our qualifications.
Let's give Ethan and the team, Dane Johnson, a hand. And where are you from?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Very good. Another New Englander down. Not going to be watching the Super Bowl against our Eagles. You're going to root for our Eagles, right?
I can't say I can do that.
Okay.
We'll get some replays here of Ethan. Welcome Ethan to the stage. Launches his first arrow for an 11 there. And has gotten off to a strong start. 33-32 after the first end. Tyler Heritage with that small 1-point advantage. Ethan, as we look at this, Teresa, he had a pretty strong run through the brackets, through the eliminations yesterday. 125-124 over Ethan Johnson. Then he came up against Brady Hempen, 130-127 to put himself into this match. It's the top 4 competitors in this division.
And you can see, by the way, so they've been showing a little bit of Ethan's gear there, and we saw some cards that showed us his aiming points on 3D targets. That tells us that Ethan's also doing some 3D shooting in his spare time. We got an 11 from Tyler to open up this end. And, you know, right now, both of these archers, it clearly could go either way, but these archers are going to have to work incredibly hard against one another if either of them wants to take this title.
Ethan, you can tell he's finally getting into his groove here. He's had the advantage of being up here one prior match. That's an 11-10 liner. Tyler being up here, having that one match under his belt already kind of killed the nerves there. A wide 10 from Ethan.
Let's see what Tyler does to answer him. And you can just see this kid is so calm and collected. Let's watch that cam roll over. As soon as
another 33.
Oh my goodness gracious, Chuck! Look at this beautiful shooting these guys are doing. Now you could see that peep sight, and we've talked about that a couple times today, and that is essentially the rear sight. So if somebody's familiar with shooting guns, you know that you have a rear sight. It helps you to sort of line everything up properly, and it's very much the same in archery.
Right. 2 points, 2-point lead here at the half as Rob gets a few words from Tyler Heritage up on the line.
You're looking solid up there. Ethan, you are as well. I mean, the shooting that you guys are doing is going to be competitive anywhere in the world. How are you feeling up here on this stage versus the world championship stage at Rosario? I think shooting on that elevated stage over the water, that must have been, you know, very intimidating, very different. How does this compare pressure-wise?
Well, I mean, any stage you shoot on is really going to be nerve-wracking for anyone. This isn't too bad compared to the elevated stage, like you said, up above the river and having parades walk by.
So a quick look at some of the replays from the last end. Tyler Heritage comes out 33-33 for a 2-point lead over Ethan Merrill. His only 2 misses in that center dot, both of those for a 10.
Amazing.
He's got a 2-point lead at the half, 6 arrows to go. This is a very powerful match, and these kind of scores are what we're going to see out of the pros that are coming up later on today. These 2 young men. Now, we heard from Tyler earlier. He said he was 16, just turned 17, right?
Yeah, I think Tyler is 16, and his previous competitor had just turned 17. I'm not sure how old Ethan is, but you know, what a testament to the level of talent in these younger kids. And when we're talking about the pro division, right, and where those scores come from, we've been talking about how the scores are getting higher and higher in pro. You said you were chatting about it earlier this weekend with some of the shooters, that perfect is not a strange concept anymore. Well, now we look at these young guys and we say, this is where the bar gets raised.
It up there.
This is how the bar gets raised.
I misspoke. I thought it was a 2-point swing after the first end. I thought he shot 33-33, and one of those arrows was scored as a 10, not an 11. So it's only a 1-point swing. And so now, after Tyler's 10 for his first arrow, and Ethan matched it with an 11, it's potentially a tie match. It is a tie match right now, 86 apiece.
You got to wonder if these young gentlemen will one day shoot a 660 here, Chuck. It's entirely possible.
I absolutely would expect it out of these guys. Ooh, a 10. You saw that air, that bow pop up. It was racing out of the bottom when it broke, and so he tried to push it back in there. Now, thankfully, he's got one more end, and it's still tied.
Wow, great shooting from these 2.
Ethan unable to capitalize on that miss.
Let's hear what these archers have to say.
What's your training program like when you're getting ready for an event like this?
I like to do a lot of matches with like friends and just work on shooting under pressure, and just shoot a lot of that. And so.
Sounds like a good plan. Is it working for you?
I think so, but.
Okay, we've got in Tyler's coach's box here, we have Holt Aberson. Holt, you and Tyler shoot together all the time. Enjoy a lot of those competitive matches. You had a great qualifying round. Shot very, very
We're going to see a little bit of replay action here, and you can just see the composure from Tyler as he executes shot after shot. That was a beautiful 11. And
Good look at Ethan there.
Look at how steady he is.
That bow explodes right towards the target, and that's what you want with your compound bow. You want that bow with that explosion, all the direction to go towards
Very
the
good.
target.
Very good. Steel sharpens steel. Okay, speaking of that, we've got a tie match. One end to go, 96-96, down to the last 3 arrows.
With 3 arrows to go, Chuck, there's so much pressure for these young men, and yet they are really holding themselves perfectly well. See how these archers execute. There's no hesitation. There's no questioning. These guys are not in their own heads. They need to stay out of their own heads and stay focused on their process. And that's how they're getting the middle.
That's that trust and that training that Tyler was talking about, where you can
Ooh, we just had a 10.
where you can work those matches, you can do that pressure, you can kind of try to simulate that as much as you can. Tyler,
Nice shot.
man, he absolutely center punched that one.
Shooting all those matches is clearly helping this young man, because you can see that he's at ease when he's up here on the stage. And from a coaching perspective, I'm always telling my students,
Ethan's-
practice competition. Now look at Tyler.
He's got to hope for a 10 here to stay in the match. A 9.
Ooh, that could swing this match.
10 to tie, 11 to win. 1 arrow.
A lot of pressure here on Ethan. He's got to deliver.
10, it's
We've
tied.
got a
We're going to have a
tiebreaker.
shoot-off.
Wow.
We will have a tie-break
Awesome.
shoot-off here. Tyler clearly disappointed that he knows he let that one get away.
Tie match here and go into a 1 arrow shoot-off, or sudden death shoot-off. We've got 2 arrows that will go by score, and then we'll have a 1 arrow sudden death, which would be just closest to center, if we indeed have a tie. Unofficially, it looks like it might be that way, but we've got some close line calls there that Ron West, our official, will call.
Ron West, one of our officials downrange. You can see this replay here of Ethan's shot. A little bit of a surprise there. Was not counting on that arrow popping out high. So, taking a look at Ethan's final shot, looks very, very comfortable there. Sinks it. Ron West goes down and takes a look. He's got the magnifier.
Tie score?
It is a tie score, so we will go to a shoot-off arrow. And again, the way that the shoot-off works here at the Lancaster Classic is it's 1 arrow for score, Teresa.
Correct.
If they tie, they get to do this again.
1 more for score.
And if they
Scores,
tie
if
again,
it's still tied, then we shoot the 3rd arrow, and we'll measure closest to the center. It has to be more than 1 millimeter. If it's less than 1 millimeter, we will shoot another arrow.
If we can't tell the difference.
So wise words there from no pun intended, Chuck, from Larry Wise, who is our head judge here for these matches, and just doing an exceptional job. Larry, a very well-renowned coach and an all-around great guy. And
he's been an official here as long as I can remember.
And we have to give props, by the way. We're seeing these young people in the camera. We've seen somebody particularly with some amazing red hair walking back and forth. These are our arrow runners. They're outstanding kids. Here we go with this first arrow of the shoot-off. Let's see what happens.
And this is a 1 arrow sudden death shoot-off.
Ooh.
And it is for score. So all he has to do, Ethan just needs an 11. It doesn't have to be closest to the center, just an 11 to stay alive in the match.
Let's see if he does it.
And
Ooh,
he does.
He does. Great
so
shot.
So we go to 1 more arrow here, and again,
Let's
it's
see.
for score. So Ethan will shoot first. I'm sorry, Tyler will shoot first.
So much credit to these guys. Look at how calm they are under pressure, doing such a beautiful job. They're not letting anyone see them sweat.
A little longer hold than normal.
Ooh, great shot from Tyler.
And he gets that last arrow out with a solid twirl. A lot of confidence there. Wow.
We are going to closest to center.
We will go closest to the
Nice.
center. And again, like Larry mentioned, it is closest to the center. If it's less than a millimeter, they'll shoot a
reshoot it.
4th arrow. We saw this earlier in the day. We did see a 3 arrow shoot off. They did measure
He
it.
needs an 11.
That
Ooh.
might that'll catch the bottom of the 11, I'm certain.
So Ethan really has an opportunity here, but he's got to center it. And he does.
He'll win it. Ethan will win it closest to center.
Fantastic
Congratulations.
shooting. You can't ask for more than that, Chuck. I mean,
what an
neither of
amazing
these guys
finish.
can complain.
Wow.
Great shooting.
Wow, what a great finish between those two. Again, we want to take a moment to thank our sponsors for bringing such excellent shooting to our stage and to you viewers. Our Platinum Plus sponsors, Carbon Express, Matthews, and Black Eagle. And we'll listen to Rob here real quick as he interviews Tyler on the way out. And also to our primary sponsors, True Ball XL. They provided this fantastic facility for us. We are in the Win and Win broadcast booth. Amazing setup for Teresa and I for this year. Thank you very
Chuck.
much for joining along as we bring all this fantastic shooting to you here at the Spooky Nook Sports Complex, brought to you by True Ball XL. This live feed brought to you by Hoyt. We take a look at Tyler's arrow. That low 11 and the winning shot here, that gets him the opportunity to move on. Congratulations to Ethan. And we move back into
shot.
the.
That's all I needed to do. So.
It's all about staying in the process, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, next competitor, Derek Ballengee.
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 It is Derek Ballengee. We will see Derek as he gets ready and we reset the stage. Teresa, what a morning. I can't wait to come back and see this.
Fantastic shooting from all of these competitors. We'll be right back. We are back. I am Teresa Johnson. This is Chuck Cooley. We are coming to you live from the Lancaster
Teresa.
Classic. And we are in the final match.
10:30 in the morning.
Men's Youth Open Division.
We have had some incredible shooting already
Holy moly,
today.
Chuck. We have had some great shooting here. We are so excited. And here we've got Ethan Merrill facing off against Derek Ballengee.
Derek Ballengee was the #1 qualifier here in the Youth Male Open Division. Now, he comes off the practice range, comes right out onto the main stage, and pops an 11 with his very first arrow, feeling very comfortable and confident.
Now, while these guys get going, Chuck, let's talk just a little bit about the format. So if folks at home haven't been following us, they can catch up real quick. So if Derek is the top qualifier, that means he essentially only has to come in and shoot one match to defend the gold medal.
That's it. Yes, he's the #1 qualifier, the top seed, so it is a ladder style shoot-up. So if you're sitting at the top, the guys at the bottom have to shoot their way to you. The advantage there is you only have to win one match to win the gold.
The disadvantage is you're not fully warmed up when you get out here. And so the other archer theoretically may have been shooting for, well, the other archer has been shooting for 3 matches by the time he gets to the #1 seed.
Right. Now, Derek does have a warm-up range, a practice range to get himself up to speed and get warmed up and ready to go, but he doesn't have the experience of being out here under the lights, in front of the cameras, in front of the crowd. So Ethan comes out of the gate with 11-10-11. Same thing with Derek.
Tied match.
Rob's going to go up and get some words from the guys here at the stage and introduce them for this final match.
Typically, when we go and practice, he'll be there with me. I try and get him to do head-to-heads with me, but sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. It's up to him. So.
Gotcha. Now, do you have any words of wisdom for your athlete up here on the box?
Shoot straight. Yeah. Just keep shooting. Hit the 11. Keep going.
Are you nervous up here?
Yeah. I'm nervous for him.
Okay. We're having a good time anyway. That's what it's all about. 32 apiece. Nice shooting. We'll take and quickly go over your gear. Looks like we've got a Hoyt Hyper Edge bow in a pretty orange, Shibuya sight, a CR scope, Bee Stinger rods, a Versa Rest, a Hemsky Versa Rest. What release are you running?
Scott Halo.
Very nice, very nice. Looks like you're shooting full bore eastern shafts. Very nice shot. Your first shot was an 11. You
Look at the
pinwheeled it.
nerves kick into there. You can see that, and just in his hand.
Just a bit of nerves, and you know, this is a testament to this world-class shooting venue. Let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, our audience at home can see this, but I think unless you're sitting in the hall, which underscores the importance of coming to this tournament next year, right? If you're following this at home, you know, whether you are new to our competitive archery or you're a seasoned competitor, really encourage you to come out and shoot this event next year. Everybody loves it. It is the best tournament. We just keep hearing people say it's the best tournament of the indoor season. It's a can't miss. And so this world-class shooting finals venue that you're seeing right here, these guys are under pressure. They're under lights. It is a darkened hall, but they're under spotlights. The target's under a spotlight. They are on raised shooting platforms. And so we are just... If you're watching these archers do that little bit of shake that we saw earlier there in the replay, it's because they're a little nervous. They're under some pressure, and there's a lot of money on the line.
There is. These guys, I mean, there's a lot of pride, a lot of prestige. Great opening shots from Derek. 10 and 11 there. Ethan comes out of the gate with an 11 with his first arrow. You're right, though. A lot of pressure, a lot of prestige to win this event. And one of the cool things about this is the Lancaster is a true open event. You don't need to be a member of any organization. You can just sign up and shoot. And
That's right.
If you are a youth, they have a trophy tournament session so that, you know, you don't have to experience this, but you can still experience what a big tournament is all about. Shoot for a trophy.
Shoot alongside the best archers and watch the best archers in the world.
And that's the thing we noticed yesterday during the eliminations. We got to see these guys side by side with the best in the world. Or you can come out and shoot here under the big lights for the big money.
That's right.
Feeling pretty good. Glad to be up here and just shooting what I can, doing my best. So, thank you.
Looks like your brother's advice worked.
Yeah, I think so. Might need them more often.
Awesome. Good job. All right. Nice shooting. 32. That's it's usually going to hold your ground or gain you a point. Very nice shoot. It's a close match, 65-64. And we'll get the arrows back here shortly. Where are you from?
Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Parkersburg, West Virginia. Where in West Virginia is that?
It's around the northwest.
Northwest? All right. Northern West Virginia. And we thank you. How many years have you been coming to the class?
This is my second time.
Second time. How'd you find the difference this year? Obviously, you shot better. You're up here on the main stage. Did you have some tough matches earlier?
Yeah, I had one really tough match. Came down to the last arrow against Anthony Ferraro.
Oh, Anthony's a tough shooter. Anthony is
And here's the replays here.
And you can just see how these guys, Derek is really solid, and so is Ethan. I mean, these guys just, at this level, they are at these are your top qualifiers, and they are really, really strong.
It's incredible to see how well these guys are doing up here on this stage. Now, this is the final match of the day for the Youth Male Open.
This decides the
This
title.
is at the halfway, only a 1-point swing between these two. That is Derek Ballengee. He was your #1 qualifier. He's currently ahead by 1 point.
Sporting the Hoyt bow, and of course we got to give a shout out to Hoyt for sponsoring this live broadcast.
Man, a much longer hold than he's used to there.
Ooh,
this
there's
is
some
really
shaking.
out of sequence for him.
Uh-oh. Wow.
And I cannot believe
Great shot. And he exhales there. You can see he's...
that's what we call shaking it into the middle.
Hey, listen, no complaints. If it gets there, it gets there, right?
One way or the other. Ethan unable to capitalize on that 10 and pop an 11 to try to close that gap. Now we'll see if Derek can kind of just shake off that last shot, get back into his routine, get back into his timing.
Of shake there.
You can see that. Those nerves are getting to him. That's a high 10. They're calling it a 10. It's right on the line there.
I'll tell you what, Chuck. If I'm working with either one of these young men, but particularly Derek and even with Ethan, when we get back home, you know there's going to be some work on shooting under pressure.
Yeah.
And I'm even going to duplicate, you know, as a coach, one of the things you might do is duplicate this whole setting.
His timing much better on that. You can see that was rewarded with that 11 there. His shot process much quicker, much back into his normal rhythm.
Beautiful.
Now,
Great
sadly,
shooting.
Ethan was unable to capitalize on either of those two 10s that he shot. And
yet
Derek
so
able to
calm.
extend the lead by actually a point.
Get a 2-point match.
It came down to the judges' call there. Ron West is our official here on this line. And Derek had an arrow that was very, very close that was called in. And Ethan had an arrow that was very, very close that was called just out. And so that's why the point change there. We'll see. There's some close arrows this time too. When you're aiming there, what are you using to aim with? You got a small black dot there. You try to just let that baby float.
Yeah, just try to keep it in there. Hope for the best.
You got to match the gas. Doing a good job. All right, Ethan, what are you aiming with? What's your scope dot look like? Got a ring, and that's what I always shot too. I like that ring. It frees your mind to allow it to float a little bit. What do you like about the ring?
I like just to be able to see what I'm trying to hit. When I first started with this lens, I switched to a 6-power at the beginning of the year, and I tried a dot for about a week and then decided I hated it and went right back to the ring. So,
yeah, it's always been my choice too. Okay, let's look. We got, looks like 96, 94, based on the arrow calls.
So we're going back here, Chuck, and you can see the replay action. You know, Ethan was talking about dots and rings and 6-powers. What does that all mean for the folks at home who are newer to archery?
That's what they have in their scope. That's the device that's mounted at the end of the riser there, what they're using for their aiming device. 6-power is the lens that they have in there. It magnifies their target. There's a great shot of that there. That's the scope, and in that scope is a lens that magnifies the target, makes it look bigger. And they either have a pin or a sticker dot or some kind of an aiming reference. Derek with a wide 9 here.
That's going to hurt.
Yeah, if Ethan can punch an 11 in there, he will tie up this match.
Let's see what he does. Oh,
11.
He does. This is a tied match. And now, Chuck, what's the, we know that our archers run different magnification. If you're shooting 6-power indoors, are you seeing a lot of movement if you shake a little bit?
You do. You see a fair amount of movement. When
ooh, nice shot.
Great recovery. That says a lot about his program, that he can shoot a 9, come
Very
back,
solid shooter.
hit his recovery program. And we now see the lead swing back over to Ethan's advantage, or Derek's advantage, rather. Now he's got to finish strong here, bud. Finish strong. Shoot an 11.
He really needs the 11, and you could see.
And he gets it.
He forced that one in there, and he got it. It was beautiful shooting from him.
He gets it. And
really strong mental program from Derek today.
Mm-hmm. And he'll win this match.
Oh, wow. Great shooting from both of them.
Fantastic match. Congratulations. Derek Ballengee will win this 127-126.
Strong shooting. Second place, the LAS Classic. You gave it a heck of a run there. It came down to the last couple of hours. $700 for second place, Ethan. You glad it's over?
A little bit. I always love shooting these high-pressure situations. I don't know why, but it always seems to come down to the last arrow for me.
Okay.
But I love it, and thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thanks for coming. Look forward to seeing you in Vegas and the rest of the year. Nice shooting. Let's give Ethan a hand. Derek, congratulations. You're our 2018 champion, $1,250 for your win today. Man, it was back and forth. How are your nerves?
Oh, they're pretty shot. I was getting pretty nervous on that first shot, and I calmed down after that some.
Very nice. You held your composure, stayed in the process, and smoked on through it. Congratulations. Let's give Derek a hand.
Congratulations to Derek Ballengee there. He wins the gold. And we take a look at his winning shots across the end. Fantastic job from him. We want you guys to stick around. We are live here at the Lancaster Archery Classic, the True Ball XL Archery Hall. At the Spooky Nook Sports Complex, Chuck Cooley alongside Teresa Johnson. Thank you very much for being here with me this morning. Teresa, look at this. It's not even 10, just about 10:30 in the morning.
We've got so much archery to go today.
Men's Open is coming up next. Women's Open Pro after that.
Cannot
Men's Open
wait.
Pro after that. Make sure you guys stay tuned. We're live
Stay
at the
with us.
Lancaster Archery Classic.